Are your beauty products slowly poisoning you? Stories like the shocking lipstick scandal or the disturbing women's hair loss nightmare you're about to hear might make you think twice.
Tonight, a brave Bay Area mom shares her shame in a bold way, showing us how she's going bald.
Pugh now has bald patches all over her scalp. Her mother and 2 daughters began experiencing hair loss and scalp irritation too.
When you brush your hair, you can literally hear the hair coming out from your scalp.
And it's not just lipstick and hair products. Much like how Big Pharma seems to have most people drugged to the eyeballs on multiple prescription meds, the cosmetic industry does a pretty good job of making sure most people are caked in something. In fact, the average woman in the US now uses a staggering 12 personal care items a day, ranging from facial cleaners and moisturizers to eyeliners, perfumes, deodorants, and shampoos. Yet beneath the glossy surface, a sinister secret lurks, one the cosmetic industry goes to great lengths to keep hidden from you.
Well, tonight I take a closer look at why some makeup artists are calling out the beauty industry for concealing toxic ingredients. You are very well versed, very well educated on looking for toxins in makeup.
Yeah.
And if you can't find it, how is anybody else supposed to?
That's the insanity of this.
Many of these products contain enough potentially harmful chemicals, they'd give a toxic waste dump a run for its money. And here's the kicker. Thanks to a regulatory loophole, these chemicals don't even need to be assessed for safety, meaning you and I get to become involuntary participants in the personal care industry's experiments.
This industry with such far-reaching scale is largely unregulated.
There's no legal requirement that a company make sure a product is safe before they sell it.
And the worst part is these chemicals set up camp inside the body and may even be linked to cancer, which, as you're about to see, Johnson & Johnson discovered the hard way. But not only cancer, hormone imbalances, dermatitis, asthma, and reproductive and digestive issues too.
Years of using baby powder made with talc caused her ovarian cancer. Johnson & Johnson maintains the product is safe.
Pregnant women, infants, and young children are particularly susceptible. You see, many of these products have been fast-tracked to market, with little more than a Hail Mary when it comes to safety testing. But who's genuinely bearing the cost? Well, it certainly isn't the fat cat cosmetic corporates. They're doing just fine.
Cosmetic sales are more than double what they've been last year in terms of pre-sales.
It's one of the most fiercely competitive and lucrative markets out there.
The social media app has transformed the billion-dollar global beauty industry, which is expected to grow by more than $300 billion by 2024.
This is the story of the biohazard of beauty. One sly trick the cosmetic industry pulls is exploiting the fragrance labeling loophole. This cunning move lets them conceal hundreds of chemicals under the seemingly innocent label of fragrance, leaving customers clueless about what they're really putting on their skin. Though fragrance sounds harmless, don't be fooled. Some of the chemicals hiding behind it are listed under the California Prop 65 and the US National Toxicology Program as cancer-causing, like benzophenone or methyleugonol or styrene. And it might surprise you to learn that some of the ingredients in perfumes listed under fragrance are also used in some toilet cleaners. And hair products are particularly questionable. Over 95% of shampoos, conditioners, and styling concoctions have fragrance in them. A report from the folks over at the Campaign for Safer Cosmetics dropped a rather unsettling revelation: that benzophenone is lurking in personal care items like lip balm, nail polish, and sunscreen. These chemicals have been linked to cancer, endocrine disruption, and even organ system toxicity. And endocrine disrupting chemicals, or EDCs, are also among the offenders. These nasties can wreak havoc on hormones like estrogen, which some experts believe could be linked to the development of breast cancer. And as I'll reveal in a moment, there's another very common baby product that's also been linked to causing cancer too. But before we get to that, when it comes to hormones, it's important to know that some products go one step further and actually add hormones, claiming they can help stimulate growth and hair thickness. Things like placental extracts, laden with high concentrations of progesterone and estrogenic chemicals. Estrogen hormones have also been added to anti-aging creams for their ability to boost collagen levels and enhance skin hydration, which might seem harmless, but increased exposure to estrogen has been connected to the development of breast cancer later in life by inducing rapid cell division of mammary tumor cells. And there's another culprit in this cosmetic charade: formaldehyde. This charming chemical has earned itself the dubious honor of being classified as a human carcinogen by the Agency for Research on Cancer. The cosmetics industry, seemingly unfazed by this label, happily adds it to nail polish and hair straightening products, among others. Of course, they claim that small amounts of these chemicals are just fine. But I don't know about you, but I'm not so keen on any amounts of carcinogens as part of my daily routine. And if little things like keeping your hair or avoiding lead poisoning are high on your agenda, then keep watching, as the stories I'm about to share will probably shock you, like the 2007 lipstick scandal. But before we reveal that, if you want to learn more about the disastrous effects of our modern world on health and discover what's really driving heart disease, diabetes, autoimmune disease, and obesity, then get free instant access to the Longevity Code documentary series, featuring dozens of doctors and health experts from around the world, and packaged into 7 episodes of exclusive video footage. Plus, get digital copies of The Art of Sleep and The Obese Brain books. Just click the link in the description below. The campaign for Safe Cosmetics threw a bombshell when they released a report showing numerous popular lipstick brands contain trace elements of lead, a poisonous heavy metal. And this forced the FDA to immediately limp into action and conduct its own study, and to their horror, they discovered even higher levels of lead in lipstick.
The FDA found lead in 400 different lipsticks, ranging from trace amounts to what some say should have women changing brands.
Lead is a powerful neurotoxin. That's why there are strict standards for lead in toys, jewelry, cookware, and drinking water. But the FDA has not set lead limits for lipstick.
Brands like CoverGirl, L'Oreal, Body Shop, and Revlon were the top offenders. However, strangely, despite these concerning findings, the FDA responded with no action needed. According to their website, the FDA believes that levels of lead below 10 parts per million are just fine and dandy, which is truly mind-boggling considering the CDC states quite clearly no safe blood lead level has been identified.
Because lead is a neurotoxin, if you do this on a daily basis and you apply enough of it, over time you're going to absorb some of it.
The truth is that no level of lead exposure is safe for humans.
But it's not only lead poisoning you need to worry about. Researchers at UC Berkeley School of Public Health also stepped in and tested multiple brands of lipstick and gloss and found other heavy metals such as chromium, cadmium, aluminium, and manganese. Now, although no one in their right mind would intentionally expose themselves to these chemicals, most consumers are unaware they're doing precisely that every day with many cosmetics. Here's what's important for you to know. In small doses, these chemicals won't cause immediate problems. No one is going to drop dead from applying lipstick. But once they're inside your body, these chemicals are not planning on leaving anytime soon. And with continuous repetitive exposure, they accumulate, creating a toxic load. The more you do it, the worse it gets. And some women are lipstick happy, reapplying up to 14 times a day. Imagine the toxicity building up over years. So the obvious question is, how on earth are these colossal cosmetics corporations getting away with it? Well, a lot of money means a lot of lobbying power, from groups like the Personal Care Products Council, who champion the interests of cosmetic and personal care product manufacturers. They talk a big game of self-regulation and voluntary compliance, all while fighting tooth and nail against any regulation that threatens the manufacturing of their clients' products. In other words, trust us to do the right thing and put your safety before our fat paychecks. However, as you're about to see, they don't have a great track record of doing this. And here's another neat trick they pull. Cosmetics companies pay for research that shows them in a flattering light. Here's how this works. A company funds a study to show that a certain chemical is harmless as a baby kitten at low concentrations. Then they use this study to shoot down any independent research that dares to reveal risks linked to the same chemical but at higher concentrations or in different conditions. Then the final step, find a few experts willing to peddle the company line who are happy to appear in the media and downplay any concerns about the specific ingredient, planting seeds of doubt in consumers' and regulators' mind. However, when it comes to questionable practices in personal care, Johnson & Johnson are true masters. In the early 2000s, concerns arose about the potential link between the company's talc, a prevalent ingredient in baby powder, and ovarian cancer. Internal company documents reveal that they had known about talc's potential risks since the 1970s. What was Johnson & Johnson's response? Well, they funded research that downplayed the risks and launched relentless marketing campaigns targeting minority groups who might not be educated enough to know the risks so they could sell more product. But that didn't work out so well for them. The company has since faced a barrage of lawsuits and has been ordered to pay billions of dollars in damages.
She claims years of using baby powder made with talc caused her ovarian cancer. Johnson & Johnson maintains the product is safe.
Declining to hear an appeal from Johnson & Johnson on a verdict awarding $2 billion to women who said that they developed ovarian cancer from the company's widely used talcum powder products.
There's evidence to suggest that when citizen petitions to the FDA in the late 1980s and early 1990s demanded that J&J label its powder with a cancer warning, the company pushed forward during that same time period with an aggressive marketing plan for communities of color as its sales to Caucasians declined.
And if you thought that was a one-off event, oh, you're so sadly mistaken. In 2014, the FDA was once again forced out of its armchair to look into a rather serious situation of people losing their hair. And not in the usual way. No, this was chemically assisted. The culprit was a cleansing conditioner called Wen by Chaz Dean hair products.
What does it take to get your hair this beautiful? Just one thing. The Wen Healthy Hair Care System by Chaz Dean.
I was scared that I wasn't gonna get my hair back.
Her mother, Miriam, says Ileana went nearly bald after using a Wen by Chaz Dean hair care product.
The FDA received 127 complaints about hair loss caused by Wen. However, upon investigation, it was revealed that the manufacturer had conveniently neglected to inform the FDA they had already received a whopping 21,000 complaints. And it wasn't until legal heat was on them that they decided to do anything about the situation. In 2016, the company agreed to pay out $26 million in compensation to customers. However, did they take the blame? Of course not, stating, "We continue to provide our hundreds and thousands of customers with Wen by Chaz Diaz products that they know and love. Since the process of litigation is time-consuming and costly, we made a business decision to pursue a settlement and put this behind us so that we can focus on delivering quality products." One could be forgiven for interpreting that statement as, this is a right pain for us, and so we'll just throw money at the problem to make it go away fast. And although to any sane person it would seem logical that a company should be required to make serious complaints known to the authorities, however, the FDA doesn't seem to mind. You see, unlike devices, pharmaceuticals, and dietary supplements, cosmetic manufacturers have no legal obligation to afford adverse events to the FDA. Hence, when it comes to cosmetics, trusting brands or regulators to prioritize your best interest might not be the wisest choice. Here's what you can do though. Stop using products with fragrance on the label, as unless you're willing to wear a hazmat suit every day, there's a high likelihood of encountering a barrage of potentially nasty chemicals. And we certainly don't have all the answers, but there are some good guys out there that are batting for us. For example, for those lengthy, difficult to pronounce ingredients often found on labels, why not check out the Environmental Working Group's website to learn more about potential health risks associated with each ingredient, and empower yourself with knowledge through websites like safecosmetics.org. The cosmetic industry continues to get away with using potentially harmful ingredients because they know the general public simply don't understand what's going on. So make sure that you do. And we'd love to hear from you, so share your comments below on what you think about regulation in the cosmetics industry. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to watch our video Fertility Killer, where we expose how the chemical industry could be responsible for the current infertility crisis today. Just click the link on the screen now, and click the other link to subscribe to our channel.